All right, so today is, let's see if I can kind of put this on. I should like to put this over here. Okay. Today is October 23rd, and we're actually 1 full week behind. Yeah, we're 1 full week behind. But we're behind this schedule. I'm going to adjust this schedule so we're not behind anymore, of course, but because we're not really behind. But anyway, so today I wanted to, we are covering the last half of chapter 5, and what that is it's reading and writing files, and that's really the only important thing that we're doing. There's also random number generator. I don't think we're even gonna. I'll throw that in sometime along the way, but it's just a function that's not used very much unless you really unless you know that you need a random number. In which case, it's so easy to figure out how to use it. It's not that big a deal. But we want to know how to read and write files, text files, and we want to be able to use the Windows Dialog box to be able to select files. And so that's basically this assignment 8 here. So I'm going to go over assignment 8, and I will describe it and probably. And what I'll do is I'll do some part of it, and I'm going to do some part of it in this class. Oh no, I'm going to describe how to do everything to both classes, but I'm actually going to do some part of it in this class, and I'll do also some part and maybe some different part in the other class. And it's just and it'll be, I think it'll probably be where if you actually watch all the videos, you'll actually see all the parts to how to do it without having to think too much yourself. But really the idea of these assignments is you should be able to read the description, sort of understand, sort of picture it in your mind how it's going to be, and then I give you these little nudges and hints, and then you can ask questions too, like how do you do this part? I was confused on this, and that's a good reason for me to do it in class, and that way we can get them all. That way we can see how if you're really stuck, you can watch videos and do it, or you might be able to. I know some of you will be able just to sort of see me get started, see how the form is going to look. You watch one video and you really understand what the whole thing's supposed to do, and then you would just be able to do it yourself. And of course, you want to get there with everybody. Although you don't have to be super good programmers to get a good grade in this class, and you don't have to be a super good programmer to get a good grade in 148. 228 is a little different because you choose to continue on with 228. But I know that there's a lot of people taking 128 that really probably never going to go on and be programmers, but you want to learn about programming and you want to be able to say, oh yeah, I wrote some programs, I get it. I can talk to programmers. I understand about logic and integrated development environments and so on, but it just wasn't my thing. And so that's, you want to be, that's a good reason to take this course also. So let's get started with this assignment. We start with the completed tutorial 5-5 solution, and then we add some features. Now, you recall the tutorial 5-5 solution because in this class last time, I started with that, and I that's the one where you create a file, saving your names of your friends, and you add names to your friends, and then I did some stuff. We added some stuff and fiddled with it. That's basically more or less incorporated into this assignment. So some of the stuff with this assignment, you can go back and look at the last. Hope I just didn't delete that one. See, this was. Where's class 7? Oh, there wasn't really a class 17. Oh, this is. I thought I this is class. This is the 23rd. Oh, I see. Oh, I guess maybe I didn't put up the other one. I thought I did. Well, anyway, see, October 18th was last Thursday's class. Okay, yesterday's October 22nd class was actually a pretty good class. It was that described reading and writing text files a little bit better. I wonder if I put it up on YouTube because I just deleted something. I hope I didn't delete. No, I didn't. I know I didn't. Let me just quickly. Is this a YouTube? Yeah, this is a YouTube. So there's this one. This is your class. This is your class. This is your class, and are there any other? Can we see other ones by Halverson here? This is the other one. This is the one yesterday, right? Yeah, it is the one yesterday. So I actually covered dialog boxes in the one yesterday. So I think maybe you do want to. In fact, I wouldn't. In fact, I would watch this one instead of the one that I recorded in your class because I remember I edited it because the last 15 minutes of the last class I spent trying to do something that I would never figured out how to do, but I did figure out how to do it in the last class. So I'll go over that this class anyway. But anyway, while I'm here, I'm going to share, copy, go over here, add web links, and this is class 18. Add web link. ITS 128 class 18 October 22nd 2018 reading writing text files and dialog boxes, whatever. Okay, so that's a little bit better one. Okay, so let's go back to the assignment, and what I want you to do is to add that, a return character at the end of the, you type in a name, you hit the return character, and it automatically submits it, and it doesn't pop up this name added message box. You can remove that. And then I'd like you to add an OpenFileDialog control to select the file that you're going to be used to store the names. And I showed that in the class yesterday, and I'll go over that again in this class. But then I also want you to add a ListBox on the display, which displays the contents of the current list of names. Okay. I want you to be able to select an existing list of names, obviously, and add to it. And then I also want you to add logic to your code to avoid adding a name twice. Okay, so that adds a little bit more complexity to it, because every time you type in a name, before you just blindly add it to the text file, you want to read up the text file read up the text file. That's how you got to do it, because we don't know about arrays yet, and we don't know about arrays yet. So you have to just do it by reading up the text file, and each name you read in, you check to see if it's the same as the name that you just typed in, and if it's the same, you reject it. You say, sorry, that name's already in there. If it's not in there, then you can go ahead and do what you're going to do. So that's the fancy thing. Okay. And then I also want you to do the same thing that I want you to do that you've done in previous assignments. I want you to rename the controls so they make better sense. You don't need to put the Hawaiian thing. That was kind of cute, but you You know how to do that now. I want you to put your name in the text property at the top of the form. I want you to put your name, in a title on the form. I want you to throw your name in as a comment in the form1.cs file, or the the form.cs file. You might name it something else. And then I want you to, and then here's what I want you to hand in. I want you to create a zip file, and inside the zip file, you only need to put these three things. Put your form1.cs file, put your form1.designer.cs file, and put a screenshot of your program executing with your name in the upper right hand corner. And with those three things, I should be able to grade your assignment just fine, assuming that I see that it runs, and then I'll be able to look at your form1.cs file to look at your code, look at your form1.designer.cs file to look at the positioning of all of your controls, the names of all your controls and everything, and see that they match up with your code, and I know that it's you. Okay, do you guys understand that? Do you understand what you need to do? All right, so let's why don't I download this tutorial file. Okay, so this is a working version. Put it on the desktop. It's on the desktop here. I see here it is. There's no other folders on the desktop. I'm going to right-click. Actually, here's another way to do it. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to double-click into here, and you notice I'm in a compressed folder. Okay, so you can't run from a compressed folder. This is actually the one I'm looking for. This one, friend file. It's still inside this compressed folder. But when and then this is what I double click on to start. Okay, let's get back out again, and so we just have this one, and now I'm going to drag this folder, which is inside this compressed folder, out onto the desktop, and it expands out. Then see, now I can close this thing here. I can put in the recycle bin. I don't need it anymore. Here is the program, the finished tutorial 5-5 working. Okay, so let's start it up. I want to use Visual Studio 2017. And I'm going to have to log in. Sign in. Okay, I'm just going to run it. Press start. And here it is. Enter a friend's name. Joe Schmo. Click write name. The name was written. Okay. Mary Smith. Write name. The name was written. Okay. Exit. Okay, let's double click on this form1.cs file. See what's in there. Oh, here's our form. Let me look at the code. Here's the code. And so let's look at this code. We have a system.io class. This thing adds a bunch of classes that we can use to create to do stuff. One is it allows us to create Steam writer variables, variables of type Steam writer, not integer, not string, not decimal, but Steam writer. And when you declare a Steam writer variable, there's a bunch of cool methods and properties that come along with it that let you do stuff like this. You're able to write a line And what that does is this variable here is actually connected to a file. And this is how you connect it to the file, like this. You use another built-in class that comes within System.io, and it's called the file class. And the file class has a bunch of stuff. It's got append text is one of them. Create text is another one, and ones to read also. Okay, so first you declare this variable. It's just like this variable. It's not been assigned anything. Here we connect it to the file. Here we write the contents of the name text box into the file. In other words, this is what this is, and also this event handler that we've been looking at. Double click on that. Wait about 10 minutes for it to decide what it's doing. All right. This is the event handler for clicking on that write name button. And that starts this whole thing off. And so this thing just writes it, puts up this message box, clears out the text box, and makes the focus so the user can just start typing the next name in there. First of all, I'm just going to get rid of this this thing. I don't want to have that message saying that the name was written. Also, the way we make it so when we hit the enter key, it automatically does the submit is you do it like this. You can click on the text box first, and you got to set it so it accepts returns. It's a property. Accepts return, change that to true. And then you also need to do something with this form, and you can make it so when you press an enter key, when you press the enter key, it automatically is like it's like pressing one of the buttons. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? So it's a form property, and it's what, let's see, allow validate. Double buffered enabled data design accept button. Okay, and so I'm going to change this to write name button. All right, okay, so now that'll work. Let's see it work. I'm going to start this up. I'm going to go Dave, Shun, enter. Carl, Chang, enter. Henry, Chang, enter. And so let's verify that those names are going in there. I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to go into friend file here. See this folder? I'm going to go into that folder, and I'm going to go into the bin. I'm going to go into the debug, and here it is. This is actually what's executing right now. This friend.file.exe is what's executing. That's this thing executing. And then here's our friend.txt file. So let's open that up and take a look at it. Right-click, edit with Notepad. Here it is. This was the first name I entered in. The reason it was stuck there is because this was already in there to begin with. And then when you wrote the first name, there was no return, there was no enter written after the previous file. So anyway, there's Joe and Mary and David, Carl and Henry and Carl. All right, and I can add another one here, Harvey Jacobs, enter, and I can go over here and click on this, and it goes, File has been modified. You want to reload it? Sure. And there, see, this goes back to the way it was because I didn't save it. And there's Harvey Jacobs spelled wrong. If I want to, I can put that in there and I can actually save it. And now I should be able to do Julie Adams or something. And there's Julie. Okay. So that's cool. Let's see. I'm going to exit. Let's see. What else should I do here? Let me see. What time is it? 11:16. I did that. Add an OpenFileDialog control to select the file used to store the names. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pop open the toolbox and pop down. No, I want to do dialogs. I can have an open file dialog or a save file dialog. They both do the same thing. All they do is they pick a file. They return a file name. The open file dialog you have to find a file, and you have to actually select a file because you're opening a file that exists already. Save file dialog box can be, you know, it doesn't have to exist. You can just type in the name of a file if you want to. So I'm going to do save file dialog. And what I do is you can just double click on it, and it puts it over here down here in this tray, this so-called tray. And I don't like the name of that. I don't like the name of that file, that thing. So I'm going to name it DLG save, I don't know, file or something. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now I need to see, I gotta go to the book. So let's refer to the book. So you might need to do this too. Go down to the middle of chapter 5, which is about here. And let's find over the dialog stuff. This is the end. Oh, open file dialog and save file dialog controls. So we start by adding adding an open file dialog control. And so here we add an open file dialog control, and appears in the components tray. The control's default name is this. As with other controls, you can change the control's property name. So they changed it to open file. Yeah, that's probably a good name. DLG save file. That's what I named it. So this is how you call it. You just say that, and what's going to happen is when you call it, it shows a dialog box. The thing pops up and asks you to find a file. With save file, you can type in a name, and you know, because you're going to write to it, because you're going to create it. And it's going to return something, and it returns different things. But one of the things it returns is this property, this dialog result. That's a result. The result is returned, and there's an OK. There's this OK property, and it's either going to be true or false. So so if the guy types in file or selects a file, okay, and clicks open or whatever, it's going to return dialog result okay equals true. If the guy hits cancel, it's going to return dialog result okay is false, and in which case you can print out, do a nice message like that. So and then this is how you get at the name of the file that the guy typed in or the guy selected, and then you can use the OpenText method in this file class to connect the file to this thing. And this is a this, for example, is a stream reader type. Okay, so again, that system.io class that we added in gives us some new kinds of types of variables in addition to decimal and int and string. It's stream reader and stream writer, and stream reader is a variable that connects to it really should be called an object that connects to a file for writing or for reading. So you can so you can grab and I think we discussed the stream reading at the very beginning of this tutorial 4 or something. Stream reader, yeah, this is reading from the stream reader, where we connect it, open it up, and we grab here, reading one line at a time. All right, so so let's go to here and when do we want to pop open the dialog box? When would be a good time to ask the user for a file name? Can somebody answer that for me? Start the program. Program starts up. So that would then you would put it in the load event handler. And to get at that, you can just double click anywhere on the form. So any blank spot on the form. So I'm going to double click, and here we are. This is the load event handler. So right in there, let's pop up the question. Choose a file, or what file do you want to save or continue to save your friends in, or something. So anyway, is there a way to put a title across the anyway, okay, let's add it. Well, we're going to be getting the name of the file inside this scope, inside this method, and but we want to use it inside other ones. So we need to declare something outside out here, and let's declare our file name out here, and we will we can write to it from inside here, but then we'd be able to read from it from other places. So right now it's hard coded in, right? It's this thing. So let's declare a variable out here. Let's make it private, and let's make it a string, and let's call it file name or something. And let's set it equal to this. Copy. Okay, so that'll be the default name. And so this can be right here. Let's make this be file name. Okay. And down here, let's do, we called it, let's go back to the text box. We're doing dialog boxes. and it's going to be show dialog. So here it is, save file, show dialog. And oh, if, let's get this right, if dialog result is okay, if this equals dialog result okay, then do this. Open file name, that's what it is. So this is how we open it up to read. We are, oh, that's right. What if it doesn't exist? Let's just see what happens. So I'm going to use this, and I need to declare this first. I'm going to say, well, file. Oh, just do this. File name. File name is this, and this is a DLG. This. What is it called? It's a property file name. Oh, I must have spelled it wrong. Well, do I got to do this? I'm not, what am I doing wrong? Okay, let's figure out what I'm doing. Okay, I am doing save. Title is good. I bet you. Open file. Save file. I guess maybe I can't use file name. So, oh, wait a second. Oh, I know. Oh, I know what's going on. I'm saving it. I need to do. This is what the name of the file is. What am I doing? No, yeah, this. Stupid. What's that? No, this is actually what goes in a file name, and then file name is what I want to open. So see, this is the actual file name that's returned. I want to save it here, and that saves it here. So now I have a new file name, and now I guess I want to. Okay, I want to open it to see if there's anything in there. And let's see. Well, how would I? So let me find a read. Stream reader example, which is the very beginning here. Reading a file. here, stream reader example. So it's basically this. And okay, so I want to put this in a try catch because it might not exist. So try this, and it's going to be I'm going to try to read it. So stream reader, input file. Call it input file. That, and then I want to see if I can input file equals open file, open text. The file name. Okay, is that right? Yeah. Okay, so so do that, and then so if it works, I haven't put, the reason we would want to open it up in the beginning is because we would want to read it up and load the list box because we want to show it's in there already. We aren't doing that. So so we don't need this yet. I'll come back to this later. So what I'm just going to put here right now is close input file, close, because what I would do is right here loop and loop reading one name at a time, inserting into list box. Okay, but we'll do that later. So you try to do that, and do we really need a catch? Well, I think we need a catch, but we're not going to do anything. I don't. I'm not going to do anything right now with the catch. Okay, so after we're done with that, it's closed. Now we need to do stream. No, I don't need to do that. Okay. All right. I guess we didn't need to even talk about this yet because that's going to be when we load it up. But we can go back here, and this should still work. And it should write into the file. Okay, this should still work. So let's so I'm gonna I'm just gonna try to run this. See what happens. Oh, build errors. Type expected. Number 70. 70. Catch. Do I just don't put anything here? Yeah, that works. So now I get to pick a file. So I'm gonna go down to where I was. In there, in there, in there, and this one. I might be using the, okay, so I'm gonna see what happens. I think if this erases it, then I don't want to use it, but let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna see what happens. Doesn't do anything. It's still here. Okay, it's still there. So yeah, okay, yeah, no, that's right. No, that was the right question to ask. Okay, so I'm going to add a name. Let's see, Arthur Jones. Good, it just added it. Okay, good, that's what we want. All right, so this is how we successfully Chris Johnson. Okay, great, it gets added. Let's exit this. Let's try something else. I'm going to go here, and instead of friend, I'm going to put friend2.txt. Okay, it doesn't do anything. I'm going to go Frank Smith, Lisa Stewart. Okay, and now I can go down here, and here's friend 2. Let's open up that and see what that looks like. Here it is, friend 2. Okay, so that works. Fantastic. Exit. Let's see, what else is there? Assignments. Would you like to see me add the list box, or would you like to see me put in code to avoid adding a name twice? Huh? Name twice? All right. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to try to, here I am. I'm going to add in a name here. Let's see. Okay. So, write name button click is here. And what comes in, there's something in the text box. And so I want to read up what's in the text box. I might as well read it, but inside the text, it doesn't matter. Try. Sure, okay. Okay, so let's, string new name equals name text box dot text. Okay, so that's the new name. And now I need to read up the I gotta know if okay, all right. I'm gonna assume the file exists already, but we're probably gonna have to put in some code just in case we're starting with a brand new file, because this I don't think this is gonna work if we are starting with a brand new file. So let's assume there's a file already in there. So I gotta open up that file. It's named file name, so I need to do a stream reader this. I need to do all this, so I'm just going to grab this. And I got to do that beforehand. And so I've got a input file here, and now I got a loop. This might work actually. While input file dot end of stream while not input file end of stream Boolean bool duplicate equals false. If input file read line see, you can test equality of strings, right? Right, you can test equality of strings. You cannot test greater than or less than with strings. You got to use the methods for that. So I'm just going to do equality. If that is equal to new name, then duplicate equals true. Okay, so do this while it's not end of file stream, while that's true, and not duplicate. Okay, here I'll make this easier, so we're not all trying to think. Equals false. I'll just do this easier too. Easier on us. False. While input file dot end of stream is false. In other words, while it's not at the end of the stream, and duplicate is still false, then read up the next line, and if it's equal to new name, which is what we're looking for, then set duplicate equal to true. So this loop is going to loop until one of two things happens. It comes to the end of the stream, or it finds a match. Okay, so that's it. Now, got to close the file. Okay, there we close the file. Now we can go if duplicate equals false, then do this. What do we do? All of this. Oh, let's do this. Else message box show names already in their space. Okay. Mr. Space. Let's be polite here. Let's treat some people with respect here. Okay, name's already in there, Mr. Space. All right. I don't know if this is going to work. Might work. Let's try it. What time is it? 11:45. Okay. Start. Ask for a file. I'm going to do this big one. Yeah, whatever. Now let me go look here. I'm going to try some names. All right, I'm going to try Rich Halverson. Here I am. Let's try Mary Smith. Name's already in there, Mr. Space. All right. Doesn't do anything. Okay, I'm going to make this better. I'm going to make this more informative. New name. Is already counted. Is already recorded. That's it. Okay, new name is already recorded. Is that better? All right. Tim Owens. You should always test the first and the last, just so you don't have an off by one error. Because you might write perfectly good code, but the first one fails or the last one fails or something like that. Enter. Tim Owens is already recorded. Let's see if this works. Dave Chun, lowercase. Oops. Enter. Uh-oh. Well, what do we do about that? Is there like a case lower or something? Can you do like strings? Is there case lower? Okay, C#, string lowercase. I'll just put two lower. How about this? Read line two lower equals new name two lower. There, how about that? Let's try this. Mary Smith. Yep. Here we go. Very good. Lowercase test works. All right. I've shown you enough. So you know how to do all. In fact, you know how to do everything now because you know how to load up a ListBox. And what you got to be clever about is things like every time you add a name, you gotta refresh the ListBox somehow. You can do it by adding it to the text file and adding it to the ListBox. You can do that, or you can just add it to the text box and then refresh the ListBox as though you're just starting up again. You do it that way. It all happens so fast that it doesn't matter. Or you can just what you could do is figure out how to do this. I don't know if there's a method that writes an event handler for when you exit the program. I have to look that up, but you could load everything in the ListBox and then just operate with the ListBox, and then when you're all done, you save the whole thing back out into the file. Okay, that'd be a faster way to do it. If you're dealing with 10 million names, then you'd probably want to do it like that. You're not going to want to read up the text box every time or read up the file every time. Just to give you a heads up, I'm I'm going to add to the next assignment. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to have you delete names. Be able to delete names. So you have the list box. You click on a name, and you say delete, and all of this is going to lead into the next chapter where we define procedures, because by the time we do the next assignment, there's going to be a bunch of code that we're going to want to repeat in lots of places, like perhaps reloading the list box. It's going to be in the onload event handler, and it's going to be up every time you enter a new name, kind of thing. And so you're going to be duplicating the same code in more than one place, and that's the perfect time to use a method. You define a method that does that reloading of the list box, and then every time you need to reload the list box, you don't duplicate the code, you just call the method again. So anyway, are there any questions? I'm going to close the solution, and I'm going to close the program, exit, and I'm going to go back here and where's my thing? Oh, when I close it, does it? Oh, here it is. I can't even see it. Stupid. There it is. There's my thing, and if I go in there, you notice it's in here, it's in here, it's in here, and these are my two files. This is the last one. 1148 was the last time I ran it. I'm going to send to zip compressed folder, and so now this is the one I just worked on, and it's zipped up, and I'm going to go to my Laulima, and I'm going to pretend it's me. I'm just going to throw this in my Dropbox, but and by the way, you don't have to submit the finished thing for this, but I do this so I can have it for later. So I'm going to put the zip up there and save it for myself right there. So next time I can continue with that one. All right, are there any questions? Okay, so I will see you next time. Let's figure out how to stop recording. See you next time.